Hey, it's your girl, Shy Roseland. Hi. Happy Tuesday. At least it's a short week. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I am working while we chat for just a moment or two. Um, so I managed to do that beaten chat. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for those who are watching on the replay. The earrings will be in the shop as soon as I have a moment to get some decent pictures. I will put them up. Um, I made two, so there will be two pairs available. And I mentioned um, yesterday there's another brouhaha going on amongst the church folk. There was this minister. I finally got his name. Pastor not Tubman, but Tub, or is it Tubman? Well, Joel, Joel Tuhan, and he used to work at Parter's House under Bishop Jakes, and he was one of their more popular and apparently really very good assistant pastors at Potter's House. He got a job offer from a megachurch in Florida, and the pastor there, Pastor Fernandez or Bishop Fernandez, he said, "Listen, I'm thinking about retiring. I'm hitting 60. I need to pass the baton." They went through some interview or vetting process. I'm assuming, because that's a fairly large church, I would assume there was some kind of vetting or interview process. And he ended up getting offered the job to, I guess, be senior pastor and eventually take over the church in Florida. Okay. So he takes the job, leaves the Potter's house, takes his family, moves to Florida. Less than 6 months into the job, he gets fired. And it was apparently he got fired on a Friday night. Word hit the streets late Friday night, and everybody was like, "What?" So, he posted a picture of himself and his Pastor Joel posted on Instagram that they were heartbroken, and that's all they said. And of course, the word got out because all these pastors, they all talk to each other, and of course, some of the people in the congregation found out. Word got out. Basically, word got out. So, like I said, the man had been there maybe 6 months. Made this big hoo-ha about, he's gonna take over and this, that, and the other thing, and I'm looking forward to working with him and blah, blah, blah. And he got fired. So now the question is, everyone's asking, what happened? Why did he get fired so quick? And what is Pastor Joel going to do now? So, the why he got fired is, right now, it's still a mystery. I will let the YouTube theologians sort that out. So y'all follow the channels that I have recommended in the past, please. Mad Church Disease, St. James Show. Maybe. What's the name of that channel? Social Church Fire. Or Social Fire Church, one of those two. Follow them, please. They are the YouTube theologians. They can figure all this out. I'm not even going to speculate on why he got fired. And then of course some people are saying that some of the people, apparently, allegedly, some of the people that came over to the Florida church because of Pastor Joel are now upset. Some may or may not have left the church. People are encouraging him to start his own church. And like I said, word hit the street and everybody was people up in arms. Now, I have, though Pastor Joel has posted a statement of his own, and before I say what he said, the Bishop Fernandez sent out an email to his congregation, and he also said something at his last service the other day, and basically he said, trust the process. We know what we're doing, and trust the process. We know what we're doing. Stop speculating on the internet, and that's that. Oh, he also said, if the Lord leads you to leave the church because of what's happened, Godspeed. You do what you feel is best. If the Spirit leads you to leave. And I'm paraphrasing everything, of course, because the actual statement is out there. It's online. Y'all can look it up and watch it for yourselves. So Bishop Fernandez said, "See ya," and we're not going to tell you what happened. It was a decision by the executive board, and okay. So Pastor Joel, and I'm just saying Pastor Joel because I know I'm butchering his last name, and I don't like to do that. Came out with his own statement last night, I guess, because now it's all over the YouTube streets first thing in the morning, saying that we're heartbroken, but my family is okay. We are okay. And we are, I am in prayer, asking the Lord to tell me what to do next. And when I get the word from the Lord, then y'all will know about it. He also said, stop speculating. Let us come together. This online speculating and upsetness and posts about him leaving are splitting the church. And folks should just stop talking about it and keep praying for me and my family. And I appreciate all of you who've reached out to me, and that's that. He is basically saying what Bishop Fernandez said. Stop speculating. Stop talking about it. It happened. We're moving on as a church. If you want to stay with the church, fine. If you don't, you don't. That's what Bishop Fernandez said. And now Pastor Joel is basically saying the same thing. Stop speculating. The speculation and the commentary and the comments are basically splitting the church, and I don't want that. Now, as I said, I am not a theologian. I am just a humble traveler on these YouTube streets, and I am nothing more than an audience member. However, I have worked for private practices in the healthcare field. Two of those practices had what was called a non-compete agreement. Basically, the practitioners, and this happened twice. I was at two different companies and this happened. Basically, a non-compete agreement is when the employee agrees, if they leave, they agree not to begin their own practice within a certain mile radius of where they're leaving. So, for example, one of the practices was in Manhattan, and the non-compete agreement basically said that the person could not start their own practice within, I think it was a 3 or 5 mile radius. So they could go to the Bronx, they could go to Queens, they could go to Brooklyn, but they couldn't stay in they couldn't start a practice in Manhattan. And I've seen that happen twice. Now, like I said, this is just a wild guess out of nowhere, but I have a sneaking suspicion, and again, I'm just guessing, I could be wrong, but I think Pastor Joel, there's probably a non-compete agreement floating around somewhere. So he is not in any rush to start his own church because he probably agreed. I'm just guessing. There's a non-compete floating around out there where he can't start his own church where he is right now. I would not be surprised if they ended up leaving Florida and he started his own church somewhere else. Really? That was my diabetes monitor going off, and I have not eaten. I drank cranberry juice with seltzer. I don't know why the stupid thing's going off, but anyway, that is here nor there. But that's my guess. There's a non-compete floating around somewhere, and he's not. If Pastor Joel takes the route of starting his own church, it's not going to be in Florida. That's my guess. So we'll see. Could be wrong. We'll see what the YouTube theologians come up with. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Have a good week ahead. And take care. Peace.